Well, guys, I gotta say they upped the ante with the Spider-Man game here. Are you referring to Spider-Man 2 on the PS5, or are you talking about Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Across the Spider-Verse, of course. And here I am, still trying to save up for a PS5 myself. Don't worry, David, you'll get one eventually. Thanks, Sonic. From what I've seen, the PS5 has a great lineup of games, and Spider-Man 2 is the #1 item on my Christmas list. If we're done talking about Insomniac Spider-Man 2, let's begin. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is a sequel to the 2018 Oscar-winning film that changed animation as we know it, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is no Spider-Man No Way Home, that's for certain. But they do mention the events of Spider-Man No Way Home in this movie. Now that I did not see coming. If you thought No Way Home was packed with Spider-People, Across the Spider-Verse ups the ante with Spider-People. Because there's a crap ton of Spider-Men, Spider-Woman, and the like across the entire Spider-Multiverse. And of course, Doctor Strange could see into every universe involving infinite Peter Parkers who are Spider-Man. One such Spider-Man is Miguel O'Hara, played by Moon Knight himself, Oscar Isaac, and a large plethora of others, including the guy who played the taxi driver in Deadpool as an Indian Spider-Man, and the guy from Get Out, Nope, and Black Panther as Spider-Punk, and Andy Samberg as Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider. Returning from Into the Spider-Verse is Shameik Moore as Miles Morales, Haley Steinfeld as Gwen Stacy, yes peoples, Kate Bishop herself. It seems that Haley Steinfeld fought against the Kingpin as two different characters, and lived to tell the tale. And then we have Brian Tyree Henry as Miles' father Jefferson. Brian Tyree Henry previously starred as Phastos in Eternals, and Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker, but unfortunately, we don't get to see any comebacks from Nicolas Cage or John Mulaney. And speaking of Nicolas Cage, we get to see his cousin Jason Schwartzman as the Spot, who's the main villain of Across the Spider-Verse. That's right, folks, Gideon from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I think that should do it for introductions. Now let's begin before either Dr. Robotnik or Metal Sonic rudely interrupt the review. Emphasis on the rudely. How many fucking times is this gonna happen? Well, it is a running gag, having me come in for no rhyme or reason. A running gag that I'm sure some people are getting sick and tired of. I see the four of you have gotten out from seeing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Well, what did you expect? I based my grappling hook from Sonic Forces off of Spider-Man's web shooters, because Spider-Man is my favorite superhero. And where the hell were the three Spider-Men from No Way Home? Why didn't they show up in animated form? Huh? What's it to you anyway? I thought you don't watch Marvel movies, aside from Fantastic Four and Morbius. Shouldn't all Spider-Man movies be connected into one convoluted universe? Because that's clearly what John Watts intended when he included Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, having them team up with Tom Holland. Why the hell did they make an animated Spider-Man movie anyway? When we already have enough live-action Spider-Man movies? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse revolutionized animation as we know it. If you've ever seen The Bad Guys or Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, you see that their animation style was inspired by Into the Spider-Verse. Same with the upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Oh yes, the Ninja Turtles movie held by Donkey Kong himself. But you're not changing my mind about what I think of the Spider-Verse movies. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm about to go see The Boogeyman. My movie starts in 5 minutes. I'm out of here! And good fucking riddance, Dr. Robot Dick. Now that he's gone, let's get started. This is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Take it away, Sonic. If you remember from Into the Spider-Verse, the opening logos were all very trippy, staticky, and it looked like it was having a seizure. The same exact thing happens here. And it starts off in Gwen's universe, where she recalls what happened to her version of Peter Parker. How she didn't make any friends since then. That is, until she met Miles. In case you must know, she invited Peter to go to a dance. She was close friends with him. Not in a romantic way, unlike Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. Well, for Tobey Maguire and Bryce Dallas Howard, it wasn't really a romance. It was just lab partners. She was only in there to act as a foil when Peter's relationship with MJ went down the toilet. Did you know that Gwen's version of Peter is voiced by Jack Quaid? Wait, Jack Quaid? Didn't he play Huey Campbell in The Boys? That he did, David. Fucking diabolical. That's Billy Butcher who says it, David, not Huey. Let's not forget Billy Butcher's favorite four-letter word. It starts with a C and ends with a... We get it! I-D-Yowie! Gwen's version of Peter actually turns into the Lizard and is crushed to death, and Spider-Woman, or Spider-Gwen as everyone calls her, is framed for the death of Peter Parker. A reverse The Amazing Spider-Man 2, if I say so myself. Yes, David, we saw your film reviews for all the Spider-Man movies, and the Indiana Jones movies. Well, minus the Tom Holland movies, and Into the Spider-Verse. She's isolated from her band members back in her world, and even her father who wants to go after Spider-Woman for the death of Peter Parker. So she hears of an attack from a variant of the Vulture. who comes from the Renaissance era, inspired by the workings of Da Vinci, and is clearly not voiced by Michael Keaton. Even though Michael Keaton is going to be playing Batman again in a few weeks, the four of us have got to tackle the Flash as soon as we're done here. And then in come two Spider people from different worlds, Miguel O'Hara, or Spider-Man 2099, and Jessica Drew, a Spider-Woman expecting a baby. Miguel is also part vampire. I don't know if he was attacked by Morbius or something, and developed fangs as a result of it, but I don't know if it was a result of his unique spider abilities, or if he was attacked by Michael Morbius. He was definitely not attacked by Morbius. Also, we don't talk about Morbius here. It's one of the worst movies in existence, and it had to come out on April Fool's Day of all days, 1 week before Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Talk about poor timing for Sony's sake. So the three Spider people subdue the Vulture, and Miguel makes mention of the events of Spider-Man No Way Home. But this is only the beginning of all the crazy spider shenanigans across the Spider-Verse of madness. Ha! See what I did there? Oh ha ha! Because Sam Raimi not only directed Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, but also Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. And after the ruckus, Captain Stacy has Spider-Woman surrounded, and she removes her mask, revealing to him that it is indeed his daughter, Gwen. She tries to get him to listen, but he wants her arrested, so afterwards, Jessica suggests to a reluctant Miguel to have Gwen join the Spider Society. So the three of them leave Gwen's dimension, and they go on an epic adventure. Back in Miles' universe, we see that Miles is having the time of his life being the one and only Spider-Man. But he's struggling to live up to his parents' expectations, especially with him getting decent grades, but a B in Spanish, since his family's Puerto Rican. And his roommate at his boarding school is Genki Lee, who's seen playing Spider-Man on the PS5. Genki plays an important role in the Spider-Man Miles Morales game, and we'll be seeing him again in Spider-Man 2 on the PS5, a console I still need to get my hands on. And Miles has to deal with a new supervillain in the form of the Spot. At first, this guy isn't all that much of a threat, but later on in the movie, he becomes the most dangerous sumbitch across the multiverse. Like, if we don't see Tom Holland fighting against Kane the Conqueror, then this is the closest thing we're ever gonna get to that. This guy used to be an employee at Alchemax, which is like Oscorp, but not really. But he wants revenge against Miles for tossing a bagel at his face. I'm done playing games, pal. You're gonna tell me what I want to know. And I'm asking you, for the last time, what would you like on your bagel? Somehow I knew you were going to reference Wade from Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Well, what did you expect, Sonic? I'm Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. I expect nothing less from my twin brother. So then we see the Spot go through a plethora of different dimensions across the multiverse, including an old comic universe, a Lego universe, and the convenience store from the Venom movies. I literally had a piece of popcorn in my mouth during that scene, and my jaw dropped. Luckily, the popcorn landed on my lap and not the ground, because I don't do the 5-second rule bullshit, especially not at the theater. I never thought I'd see the day where animated Spider-Man villains end up in live-action worlds. I mean, I know we got a scene from Into the Spider-Verse during the credits of Venom, but I never thought they would be interconnected. I guess the live-action Spider-Man movies and the animated ones are all interconnected across one crazy multiverse. We also catch quick glimpses of Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire later on, but no sign of Tom Holland. I mean, they do mention Tom Holland and his shenanigans with Doctor Strange in Spider-Man No Way Home. But seeing the Spot crossover with Venom's universe, I was not expecting that. And I'm not gonna finish that quote from the first Sonic the Hedgehog movie because it's gotten old fast. But you know exactly what I was gonna say. Exactly. Not only do we get a scene taking place in Venom's universe, but also we see Donald Glover returning as an alternate version of Miles' Uncle Aaron. That moment got a huge audible gasp from the entire audience outside of the four of us. And that one scene in the Lego world. It makes me regret retiring the Legoizer. How can I forget the Legoizer? That was one of the coolest gadgets you've ever created. But the best use you got out of it, besides turning you, me, Tails, and our vehicles into Lego versions of them, is to destroy Lord Vortek. Of course the two wolves in the room wouldn't know because they weren't even there. I've always wondered what I would look like as a Lego minifigure. I wish some artists out there watching this video could draw me as a Lego version of myself. Same with me. I mean, Human Me from the real world got a Lego version of himself when he created his own minifigure at the Lego store. Same with a Lego version of himself and Human Gene. I just wish someone out there could draw me and Calvin as Lego minifigures, or maybe other characters from the Sonic and Sonic series, like Gene, or Aurora, or Kimberly, or Eugene, or the rest of the Dimension 23 Scooby-Doo gang like Rory and Leland. Well, there are going to be brand new Lego sets with Sonic the Hedgehog, in which the prices vary depending on the set you want. One of these days, I'm going to take the Legoizer and turn all of us into Legos, and show you different worlds across the Lego multiverse. But alas, Lego Dimensions has been dead for years now, and I don't think they're ever going to revive it for the PS5 or the Xbox Series X/S. And besides, It would absolutely not work on the Switch. The Spot was there when the Collider from the first Spider-Verse movie was destroyed by Miles, and he wants revenge against him for ruining his reputation, being humiliated by his colleagues at Alchemax. Sounds an awful lot like Mysterio from Spider-Man Far From Home to me, except that Mysterio wasn't all that much of a threat. Just some dude who got salty, all because Tony Stark insulted his technology. Gwen then finds Miles as she hops over to his dimension, and she's wearing a special bracelet that prevents her from glitching as if she was Vanellope von Schweetz from Wreck-It Ralph. Of course, Miles glitches out like crazy when he hops dimensions, but we'll get to that later. Here, Miles and Gwen are just friends, but I can tell that he has feelings for her, kind of like Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone. The whole reason she's there is so she can locate anomalies, and also the Spot. It is then that we see that he's become even more of a threat when he creates his own collider. But at the same time, Miles' father is holding a special party on the roof of their home, because he got promoted for his job in the police force. All while we have a mural of Aaron painted on the side of an adjacent building. And Miles has to bring 2 cakes home, but the messages on the cakes got ruined. Too bad those cakes didn't say San Francisco sucks, or I never had a doubt. Oh good Christmas, Sonic! The first Sonic the Hedgehog movie when Tom gets a letter in the mail, saying he got accepted into the San Francisco Police Department. He introduces Gwen to his parents, and there's a running thing about how Miles is grounded, and they increase it by many months. And they have no idea that Miles is Spider-Man. Gwen then takes off and Miles follows her. They get to a building that was clearly attacked by the Spot, and they see a video message showing what went down. But Gwen doesn't know that Miles is there because he turned invisible, like Susan Storm from the Fantastic Four, or Violet from The Incredibles. So then they hop dimensions and they end up in a world inspired by India, in which they come across a Spider-Man from India, voiced by the same actor who played Dopinder, the taxi driver from Deadpool. We then meet another Spider-Man in the form of Hobie Brown, or Spider-Punk, voiced by Daniel Kaluuya. This guy previously starred in Get Out, Nope, and Black Panther. But we do not see the same character he played in Black Panther and Wakanda Forever. This character is British, and he comes from a world which is basically ruled by a totalitarian regime, and he uses his guitar as his main weapon. Why am I getting Sonic Underground vibes with this guy? I don't know, Sonic. The world in which they're in begins to blow up into smithereens and spew their tiny symphony all up and down the city street while trying to put my mind at ease, like finishing this melody. This feels like a necessity, so this could be the death of me or maybe just a better me. Now coming with the timpanis and take a shot of Hennessy. I know I'm not there mentally, but you could be the remedy, so let me play my violin for you. Did you really just reference one of my favorite songs, World's Smallest Violin by AJR? It's one of my favorite songs too, so I could not resist. Good Christmas, Sonic. Miles then has a terrible vision of his own father getting killed while saving a child, after he's promoted to captain of the police force. But apparently, according to the Spot, it's actually what happens in the future to Miles, and he can't do jack shit about it. They saved the world, as well as some important people in the Indian Spider-Man's life. But it turns out they were supposed to die because of something called a Canon event. So if you alter the Canon event, things go to shit throughout the entire space-time continuum. And it's worse than Biff Tannen obtaining the Sports Almanac in Back to the Future Part 2. Or Barry Allen trying to stop his mother's murder in the new Flash movie. Or Loki escaping from Stark Tower by taking the Tesseract. Those things were not supposed to happen, but they did, and now the universe is fucked. So I'm guessing the Spider Society is basically Sony's TVA? Looks like it, Seanic. I'm surprised they didn't step in when Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland teamed up in Spider-Man No Way Home. I guess that was something that was supposed to happen according to the TVA. Probably. Gwen even tries to stop Miles from saving those people, because she knew that it would alter the timeline and fuck everything over. For Doc Brown and Marty McFly, fixing the timeline is a piece of cake, but not for the Spider Society. They bring Miles to Miguel's world, a place surrounded by spider people across every universe, from cartoons, to old comic books, to live-action characters, a spider horse, a spider T-Rex, and Insomniac Spider-Man, in which Yuri Lowenthal reprises his role as that version of Spider-Man. And then there's Andy Samberg as Ben Reilly, or as he's better known, the Scarlet Spider, and the Spectacular Spider-Man. And there's also a Spider-Woman from a virtual reality, basically being controlled by someone with a headset, kind of like the ones from Ready Player 1 and Ready Player 2. And not from Sword Art Online, in which you can't take those fucking things off, that if you die in the game, you're dead in real life. And like we said, we see a live-action version of Aaron played by Donald Glover, who reprises his role from Spider-Man Homecoming. And later we catch glimpses of Andrew Garfield as Dennis Leary dies at the end of The Amazing Spider-Man. And Tobey Maguire as Uncle Ben dies in the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man movie. But again, not a single appearance from Tom Holland or anyone from the MCU. And Miles is given a special little bracelet so he doesn't glitch like crazy since he's not in his own universe. Why Toby and Andrew didn't glitch while in Tom's universe, I don't know. Same with the plethora of villains who appeared in Spider-Man No Way Home. Miguel confronts Miles for how he nearly fucked up the timeline and caused multiversal destruction in his wake because of what happened in the Indian world. And then we see the return of Peter B. Parker, but this time he's wearing a bathrobe over his Spider-Man suit. And he has a baby named Mayday, who has spider powers just like her father. Why he spends the entire movie in a pink bathrobe, I don't know. But I don't know anyone in our world who wears a pink robe. You'd think Amy has one that color, but she doesn't. It's red and white. Yes, and I own 2 bathrobes. One that's maroon and one that's blue. And I wear both all the time. It's not like the blue replaced the maroon. No, I still wear both all the time. If I had a second bathrobe, it would probably be white like Seanic's. But I don't think my name would be on the torso. I could totally see you pulling off a white bathrobe, Sonic. Maybe that could be a potential Christmas gift idea? Or since our birthday's coming up in a few weeks, me and Aurora could get you a white bathrobe? On second thought, I'm happy with my blue robe, but thank you, Seanic. I know I have a red bathrobe and everything, but if I were to get a second one, it'd probably be a light blue robe, kind of like what David has, but not a Sonic robe. I'm not planning on getting a second bathrobe anytime soon. I'm already happy enough with my white robe. So let's do a rundown on everyone we know who owns bathrobes. Sonic is blue, Seanic is white, Calvin is red, Tails is green, Zoe is yellow, Shadow is darker red, Silver is turquoise and yellow, Blaze is lavender colored, Aurora is white, Jean is navy blue and she used to have red, Eugene is lime green, Laurel is purple, I am maroon and light blue, Jimmy's light blue, Lucas is green, Knuckles is purple like his eyes. Wait, Knuckles has a purple bathrobe? I thought it would be red. Nope, Knuckles posted a selfie on Instagram of him wearing a purple bathrobe. And yes, men can wear that color. Just like how Seanic pulls off a white robe flawlessly. Anyway, Rouge is white, Espio is purple, Vector is red, Charmy is yellow, Cream is orange. Am I the only male character among us who has a white bathrobe? No, Mighty and Ray both have white robes, and I don't think Rory or Leland have robes. I remember when I first got my bathrobe in the mail. It was shortly after Sonic got his from Target. It arrived! Holy shit, it arrived! What arrived, Seanic? Something I ordered online that I think you're gonna love. Oh, really now? A package? Not just any package. Something I've been wanting to get for a very long time. Go on, open it. Finally, after years of wanting one, ever since my college days, I finally have my own bathrobe. It's white. Isn't that a girl color? No, I've seen pictures in magazines of men wearing white bathrobes. Well, what are you waiting for? Put it on. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. Anyway, how do I look? You're one handsome hedgehog. And is that your name on the torso? It sure is. Why don't you go into the bathroom and look at yourself in the mirror? Oh yes, this is exactly what I imagined. Seanic, you've finally done it. And the backside looks great too. You're not staring at your own butt, are you? No, why would I ever do that? Because when you turned around, your eyes shifted downwards. Well, I can't help myself. Every inch of my body looks handsome in this thing. And for the record, I was not looking at my own butt. So I don't know why your mind went from 0 to 100 at supersonic speed. Sorry, Seanic, but yes, every girl in our block is gonna fall head over heels with you in that robe. My foster mother Gemma wore a white robe, and now that my name changed from Sean to Seanic, I just had to put my full name on the front of the robe. And what made you choose white? Because I've seen pictures in magazines of men wearing white bathrobes, as well as some movies and TV shows, and I thought a white bathrobe would look good on me. It sure does. I never want to take this off. Now that you and I both have our very own bathrobes, and there's no Eggman threats today, what say you and I get some ice cream out of the freezer, put on a movie and chill out? Like, say, Captain America the Winter Soldier? Yes, please. Still to this day, it was the best purchase I've made. Pardon me, Seanic, but this is supposed to be a review for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, not random flashbacks that have no purpose. No one needs to know what you had for breakfast on this day back in 2015. I just thought the viewers would be curious to know about the day I got my robe in the mail. I already told this to Mario back in Rio, but let me tell you a story as to how I got my blue robe. No! Okay, keep your panties on, will ya? In every world in the Spider-Verse, a police captain was supposed to die, including the one from the Indian universe and Dennis Leary from The Amazing Spider-Man. Miles was not supposed to save the Indian police captain, and this also means that Spot is targeting Miles' dad, and there's not a goddamn motherfucking thing he can do about it. Miguel stopped a Canon event from happening, and it caused some people, including his own daughter, to be erased from existence. Basically a Nexus event from Loki. Miguel then places Miles in a trap after he becomes frantic to try to save his own father. But the other spider people in the room had to go through it themselves, and there was nothing they could do about it. Meaning that everyone's Uncle Ben was supposed to die, including Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. And some Aunt Mays were supposed to die too, like the ending of the PS4 and remastered PS5 Spider-Man game and Spider-Man No Way Home. And this also means Tony Stark had to die in Avengers Endgame. I know, too soon, but it had to be said. It's fine, Calvin. So then Miles escapes and we get a really funny moment where every spider person in the multiverse points at each other, like in the famous meme with the two Spider-Men pointing at each other, along with a funny behind-the-scenes image of Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland pointing at each other on the set of Spider-Man No Way Home. So every spider person and animal is sent after Miles, but he manages to catch a train out of there. And then a heartbreaking revelation that the spider that bit Miles and Into the Spider-Verse wasn't supposed to bite him, and it was meant for someone else. That spider was from a different universe than the one where Miles comes from, and Miles was never supposed to be Spider-Man. That the result of the spider biting Miles was his universe's Peter Parker getting killed by the Kingpin. And in the universe where the spider came from, there is no Spider-Man. Just like how in the upcoming Flash movie, Barry created a timeline where there are no metahumans. Miles then returns to the HQ where Spider-Bite helps him open up a portal to a new dimension, hoping to send him home. But then, when he tries to tell his mother that he is Spider-Man, something is wrong. But before that, Miguel exiles Gwen back in her own dimension after seeing her as a liability. When she returns home, she reconciles with her father, who resigned from the police force following him finding out that Gwen was that universe's Spider-Woman. And when she finds out that the canon can be safely violated, she goes out to find Miles using another portal watch that her father gave her, that was left behind by Hobie. You know, my human counterpart used to have a cat named Hobie. That was when I was very little. And now your human counterpart has a new cat named Skipper. And there's videos of him not only on his TikTok page, but also YouTube too. When Miles tries to tell his mother that he's Spider-Man, that's when we realize that something is wrong. His mother has no idea who Spider-Man is, and he eventually glitches out. That's when we realize that he is not in his own dimension, but the dimension in which the spider that bit him came from. Holy planet of the apes. You said it, Seanic. It's like this movie is full of plot twists that make Hans's betrayal from Frozen pale in comparison. Meanwhile with Gwen, she goes to Miles' actual dimension, only to find that Miles is not there. She then runs into Miles' parents, but she does not tell them that their son is Spider-Man. Instead, she tells them that she's gonna look for Miles, even though they don't trust her. Meanwhile with Miles, he sees that Uncle Aaron is alive, and that his own father is dead. And that's when he realizes that he's in the wrong dimension. Gwen has that same revelation too. Miles is then tied up by Aaron, and he's interrogated by that universe's Miles, who turns out that he's that universe's Prowler, or as I like to call him, Tails. Why Tails? Miles Prowler. Are you for fucking real, Sonic? If Tails were here right now, he'd smack the piss out of you for that awful pun. But he's not. I mean, he saw the movie with us, but he had to go home. Tails used to sound like this on this channel! By your human counterpart, whom I visited to find the last Chaos Emerald as a Lego, pass the baton to Sonic Dragon Girl 23 so she could be the new voice of Tails. But in all those plush TikTok videos, he still voices Tails. The plush videos and these kinds of videos are completely different, and you know it, Seanic. So yes, Miles Prowler, as I'm gonna refer to him, has the real Miles tied up and he tries to escape. Meanwhile, Miguel, Jessica, and Ben Reilly are looking for Miles as the Spot begins his attack. I'm telling you, the Spot went from silly to fucking terrifying in 3 seconds flat. No fucking shit, David! So Gwen then forms a team consisting of all the allies she made Into the Spider-Verse, including Spider-Man Noir, Spider-Ham, and Patty Parker, Peter B. and Mayday, the Indian Spider-Man, Spider-Bite, and Hobie to look for Miles. And then the movie just blatantly ends with a to be continued. The audience audibly screamed at that ending. Sometimes I like cliffhanger endings, and sometimes I don't. Fast X ended on a cliffhanger, and I didn't like it. But I guess I'm gonna have to wait for the next one to come out because that movie left more questions than answers. But the ending to this movie left me so fucking excited to see Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse next year. And the four of us are definitely gonna be reviewing Beyond the Spider-Verse, as well as Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And there's no post-credit scene for this movie either. Just a title card for the next movie, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So that was Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a movie I consider to be quite possibly the best Spider-Man movie since Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home. Forgive the awful pun, but this movie was miles better than not only Into the Spider-Verse, but also No Way Home. And No Way Home is my second favorite MCU movie next to Captain America the Winter Soldier. The stakes were a lot higher, and the new villain is fucking terrifying. And the supporting cast, especially Oscar Isaac, was excellent. There are so many different Spider-People from across not only cartoons and comic books, but also video games and live action too, especially with Spider-Man Homecoming and Venom. This is the biggest and best Spider-Man movie thus far, one of the best superhero sequels ever, next to Captain America the Winter Soldier, Spider-Man 2, and The Dark Knight. I'm giving Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse an S rank. Everything about this movie was so much better than Into the Spider-Verse, and dare I say this movie beats all live-action Spider-Man movies. But I still love myself a good live-action Spider-Man movie, like Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man No Way Home. You can say that again, David! That was fun, guys. Now I'm definitely getting excited to review The Flash and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny with you guys. Same here, Seanic. So what do we want to do now? Maybe go back home, grab our bathrobes, and watch me play Tears of the Kingdom? Yes, please.